na 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 na. I was born and grew up in a society where those assigned female at birth were expected not to be sexual. We weren't getting any sex education, and my caretaker could hardly even explain what periods are, let alone anything else. The same society made me believe that everything I'm not feeling sexually is perfectly heterosexual. And I left with guessing that this sexuality thing works like this. I should wait until I meet this special someone, and then and only when a special bond forms, I will experience sexual attraction to this person. But of course, I should wait until we get married, and then we will do and live happily ever after. And so I waited, and waited, and waited, and then waited some more, and I never formed any kind of strong, lasting attraction towards men. So I just kept waiting for the special person. In my late 20s, the same society told me that I'm too old now and I should not only wait, but also actively look for this special someone. And I was very confused because the society I live in doesn't usually encourage chasing men. I was like, okay, I'll try to look for this person online. And I signed into all these dating sites. I would chat with men and try to connect with them. It didn't work again. But when my parents and my brother started wondering why I don't date anyone, I started realizing that something is missing here. Because where I live, parents and brothers especially are usually pretty happy if you're not dating anyone. Sometimes I was thinking maybe it is too hard to connect with men because we're too different. Maybe me and men don't belong together. I could never understand men, the way they behave, what they want from life. At some point, I started really wishing to be a lesbian. Once I even started developing some kinds of attractions towards a woman. It was a mental attraction, emotional attraction. I wanted to spend time with her, just talking for hours, discussing stuff, and looking into her eyes. I was angry when she wouldn't spend time with me, and jealous when she would choose to spend time with other people. But I kept waiting to be with her, looking at her every movement, every gesture, or just being next to her, even if it's just sitting in silence with her. I got really excited from the thought that I might be a lesbian after all. My love has got no money, she's got her strong beliefs. My love has got no power, she's got her strong beliefs. My love has got no fame. So happened that around that time I somehow found my way into the queer community. And if before no one would share pretty much anything sexual, not even my closest friends, in this community, everyone would openly discuss their sexual experiences. I was really surprised that people actually feel sexual pretty often. Some of them would tell they experience sexually attracted to someone on a day-to-day basis, or once a week, maybe once a year, but no one was lacking sexual attraction for decades. I realized I'm not even sure what they specifically mean when they say they are sexually attracted to someone. I started researching, and by researching I mean of course watching tons of YouTube videos, and also asking around to understand what sexuality is anyways. YouTube rabbit hole took me also to the videos about asexuality. They would give a definition that an asexual person is someone who experiences little to no sexual attraction. I was still not sure how sexual attraction works. And also, asphobia was already taking a toll on me and wouldn't let me admit that it could possibly be about me. All I could remember about people even remotely corresponding to what the definition of asexuality was were them being infantilized, pathologized, not being taken seriously, being invisible, dismissed, not believed, alienated. So how this possibly could also refer to me? Asphobia would make me convince myself that this wasn't about me because I was always very fascinated and curious about sex, that I openly talk about everything sexual, that I entertain my brain by imagining having different types of sexual experiences with different people, that I like exploring porn from time to time, and I'm open to the idea of having sex one day, if I feel like it for whatever reason. It can be surprising, but it took me almost a year to realize and accept that I am actually asexual. Although everything should have been so obvious to me so long ago. Well, and also what they don't talk in these videos about asexuality is how specifically sexual attraction works, how it manifests itself. So how someone who has never experienced this can possibly know if it refers to them? My aha moment was when I found this sex ed book where they were explaining when you experience sexual attraction, your body reacts to someone and you have a desire to physically engage with that specific person in sexual ways. And I was like, wait a minute. I should have a sexual desire towards a real person made from flesh and blood to be considered having sexual attraction? And so there was a 30-year-old realizing that asexuality is about me. From there on, I was learning more and more about myself. What other non-sexual, beautiful, and valid attractions I can experience, which are as important as the sexual ones. And also, who I experience those attractions towards, which, spoiler alert, is no one heterosexual. Now that I accept my asexuality, I feel happier than I've ever been in my life. As if I found something that I didn't even know that was missing. Freed from desire, mind and senses purified, freed from desire, mind and senses purified, freed from desire.